Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Dracula versus Van Helsing. This is designed by Maxine Ramberg and Theo Rivera, and it is published by 25th Century Games. They don't go, it's just a one bite.
It's one bite. So I need to practice. I'm new to this whole thing.
New to the
being a vampire.
Gotcha. If you want more stuff like that, make sure to subscribe so you can get all of that.
All right, so we're talking about Dracula versus Van Helsing, the classic tale between these two arch nemesis. All right, so what's happening basically in this game is we have Dracula on one side, we have Van Helsing on another. This is a two-player only game. Van Helsing is trying to take the health away from Dracula, ultimately kill him, whereas Dracula is trying to win over all of the, infect or turn into vampires, all the different citizens of this town. All right, so how does it play out in the gameplay? All right, so there's this kind of deck of cards. In this deck of cards, there are 4 different suits, and each one of those suits has the numbers 1 through 8. And you have these really nice card holders. What you're going to do is you're going to draw 5 cards, and one at a time add them in order to your card holder, so that way they're all in order. What it does is that it interacts with the board itself. Each one of those card slots interacts with the location on the board, as well as interacts with your opponent's cards as well, and their locations. Ultimately, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be comparing our cards. Whoever has the higher cards are going to win that particular battle between those, each one of those 5 slots is going to represent a little battle. All right, so each round what you're going to do is you're going to draw a card, and then you are going to either discard it for its ability or swap it out with one of the cards that was already in your tableau and then discard it for its ability. So every turn you're going to draw something, and then you're going to discard something, and it's going to be, whatever you discard, that ability is going to be what you do. Obviously, when you're doing this kind of this battle comparing things, higher numbers are always going to do better, so you want to keep your high numbers. But wait, maybe not, because high numbers also have the higher, better abilities on them as well. So it's kind of a nice decision point where you want to discard high cards in order to do a cool ability, or you want to keep high cards in order to try to make sure you win that particular region of the map. All right, so once you have done at least 6 cards in the discard pile, meaning each player has taken at least 3 turns, the game or the round can end a couple different ways. First of all, you can just flat out just declare that the round is over. Hey, I'm calling this the end of the round. In that case, the other player can take one more turn, and then the round ends, and then you resolve all your cards you have in your card holder. The other thing is, if you have a boat, which is a number 8 tile, and you discard that, that does the same thing. You have to have at least 6 cards in the discard pile in order for that to work. But in that case, the round ends, but your opponent does not get to take another turn. And the third and final way is if the deck runs out, you've gone through all of the cards in the entire deck, and the deck runs out, then the round is going to end and you're going to resolve all your cards. At the end of the round, you are going to reveal all 5 of your cards in order, both people are, and they're going to compare them. There's also a trump suit, so the one suit that's higher than the rest. You're going to compare whoever has the higher number, and again, if there's one of them is a trump, the trump is going to win. If they're both trumps, then of course the higher the trump wins. And then in that case, you're going to resolve that location. When you're resolving these regions, what's going to happen is, if Van Helsing has a higher number or a higher card in that area, what's going to happen is he's going to take one of the hearts away from Dracula. But if Dracula has the higher number, it's going to turn one of the citizens in that region into a vampire. All right, so what are the win conditions? Well, Van Helsing is trying to take all 12 heart points away from Dracula. But Dracula is trying to turn all 4 of the citizens in one region into vampires. That's his win condition. Alternatively, if the round ends, if the game ends, there's 5 rounds in the game, and neither one of the people has been able to achieve their goal, Dracula automatically wins. So the pressure's on Van Helsing to be the one to kind of finish it off, or Dracula can try to stop that. But otherwise, if Dracula can stall longer and last to the final round, Dracula wins.
All right, so the lower cards in this all have to deal with revealing cards. So the one card, you have to reveal a card, and it's so frustrating when, you definitely don't want to keep this. You're not going to win that area, but if you discard this card, then you have to show your opponent the card that is there so they know what they're competing against. There's also cards that reveal, when you play it, they reveal the top card of the deck. So you're giving yourself information, right, of what that card is. But more often than not, when we played it, we just like use that ability right away. So you still don't know what's going on with me. But so the lower cards deal more with, they're not even really cards, deal more with like revealing things, and you don't want to do that, but you also don't want to keep those numbers either. I just really liked how that interacted, that you didn't want to keep these, but you also didn't want to play them, and you wanted to keep these, the higher numbers, but you also like needed to play them at the same time. There was a lot of thinking going on in this little simple quick game.
There's a sideboard that has the 4 different suits on it that determines what trump is, which is a really clever little mechanism. So when you're resolving things, you know exactly what trump is, what ones are going to win.
Yeah.
On top of that, the 3 that are not trump, they're also kind of ranked. So if you ever have a tie, let's say a 4 and a 4, but they're neither one of them are trump, then you go to the kind of the sideboard and see which one is higher at that rank at that time. And then, of course, you can determine who wins. So there's always very clear. There's never going to be a flat-out tie where nothing happens. And, of course, there's also one of the abilities that can also mess with what trump is as well, which can really kind of shift things around.
So it's also really cool as the game progresses and you see these sections happening. I would say probably by the second round, there's a clear section on the board for Dracula to win by, but Van Helsing knows that. And so there's like a clear area that you're trying to compete with to try to prevent Dracula from turning people and to just, prevent that from happening. So it's really funny because both of you know what you're trying to do in this section. And if you do make it all the way to the end, the turn order matters. So you play across the board. You don't get to choose how you're playing. And so Dracula could potentially win early on, even though by the 4th card, Van Helsing would have won. In the last round, or in all the rounds, it's turn order. So how those cards are revealed matters, which also influences where people are playing cards and why they're playing them. It's just like there's so much thinking going on and so few decisions.
I think that the production of this game was really nice for kind of a relatively simple card game, right? It came with these really nice card holders, these premium card holders. The cards themselves are, like Bethany mentioned, they're not really cards. They're more like tiles.
Yeah.
So you have these really nice tiles that you're messing with. The artwork is really, really cool. And it was in that Dracula vampire world, kind of all
evocative
abstracted.
to the setting.
Exactly. Yeah. Even the box itself, the insert was like this coffin-themed thing with all these little areas to tuck all your components in. I really like the production of this card game.
Yeah, okay, so yes. I really enjoyed this game. I was very impressed with this game. I haven't seen this game before. I feel like I've played quite a few games and I've seen a lot of 2-player games. We love 2-player games. That's where we play the majority of our games at, and so we especially like it when games are designed specifically for that. And I have not seen a game do this yet. That doesn't always mean that when a game does something different, it's good. That is the case for this one. It was different. I hadn't seen it yet. I felt like they pulled it off. I really enjoyed it. This is one that is staying in our collection.
I like how it blended the hand management of keeping things in the right order, along with a little bit of area control as you're trying to have the higher numbers. Some light trick-taking with kind of the trump thing going on in there. Asynchronous win conditions between the 2 different players. Even though the gameplay is similar, the win conditions are different. I think that all blended together in a really nice package in a way that we hadn't seen before. I enjoyed that a lot. This is, like Bethany mentioned, this is going to be a keeper. This is one that we can take to our coffee dates because it doesn't take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. And I really enjoyed this game. This is going to be a staple during October especially.
Yes. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.